What's going on, my friends? It's Doctor.Gainz here, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about one of the most famous topics of all time for all gym bros, which is the bench press. In this video, I'm going to explain how I managed to get stronger and stronger in the bench press, all the way up to benching 345 pounds without ever training for bench press. Now, I know this might sound like a hoax, it might sound like cap, it might sound like clout chasing, but it's all factual. I actually was looking at my past videos on my phone, and since August, I benched only 4 times. I benched once in August, never in September, never in October, never in November, twice in December, never in January, never in February, never in March, and once here in April when I hit a PR. Funny enough, during those last 3 bench press sessions, I got stronger and stronger with each one. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how I managed to get stronger and stronger all the way up to benching 345 pounds while only weighing 167 pounds without bench pressing. So I'm going to share the 3 factors that are present in my training that allow this to happen. So the 3 factors that come into play when increasing my power and strength in the bench press without ever bench pressing are strength-specific training, calisthenics, and muscle memory. I'm going to explain each of those, so let's start with strength-specific training. Now, what is strength training? In a very basic form, it's training to be stronger, to move weight, to be able to manage higher intensity. Now, there's 2 factors that come into play when it comes to strength training. The first factor is the obvious one. It's muscle. The more muscle you have, the more ability to move weight, to generate power you have. The second factor has more to do with your nervous system. So a lot of people don't understand that not only do we need muscle to move weight, but we also need a pretty good, pretty reactive nervous system, because the faster we can recruit our muscle fibers, the more efficient we are recruiting and firing the muscle fibers, and the more muscle fibers we could recruit, the more power we could generate. So if you're specifically training for strength, not only are you training to build a little bit of muscle, but more importantly, you're training to get a very efficient nervous system. And that's exactly what I do. For me, since I don't do weights, since I don't do the bench press, I train my nervous system through calisthenics. So the main way I'm doing this to translate into bench press is through weighted dips. When I'm training for strength through weighted calisthenics and through weighted dips, I'm trying to go super heavy and only doing 1 to 3 reps during my working sets with plenty of rest between. This honestly is not the best way to build muscle. As a matter of fact, it's not even an efficient way to build muscle, but it's an incredible way to build strength, because I'm really teaching my body, my pecs, my shoulders, my triceps, how to work efficiently, how to move heavy weight, and how to recruit as many muscle fibers as possible. So when I do any chest, shoulder, or tricep exercise, I'm going to have that same carryover and a lot of power. So let's move on to the second factor that contributes to my bench press power, which is calisthenics. It's hard to argue against calisthenics. Calisthenics tends to be way more effective than weight training, and undoubtedly way more effective than isolation training. So let's say just bicep curls, triceps, things of that nature. There's 2 main reasons for this. The first one is compound movements. So through calisthenics, every single movement is a compound movement. So pull-ups are compound movements, bodyweight squats, compound movements, sprints, lunges, dips, push-ups. All of those recruit numerous muscle fibers, which is going to be more stressful on our bodies, more stressful on our nervous systems, and just burn more calories overall as well, if that's something you're looking for. But regardless, the compound movements are great at building overall strength. And on top of that, all of these calisthenics movements are closed chain movements, which are going to require a lot more strength to go through as opposed to open chain movements. And the third factor contributing to my strength when it comes to the bench press is muscle memory. So as mentioned, I don't bench nowadays. I benched 4 times in the last 9 months. But way back in the day, about 9 years ago, when I first started working out, I'd be lying if I said I didn't bench press. As a matter of fact, back then I probably used to bench press 3 times a week, and I've gone through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sets. And for me personally, the bench press, the technique has been like riding a bike. So even if I don't bench press for a year, 4 months, 3 months, 5 months, whatever it might be, the technique is still engraved in my nervous system, in my brain, and when I get right back to it, I remember exactly how to do it. If you take a normal calisthenics person who's never bench pressed or has only done it a handful of times in their life, the carryover is not going to be as extreme as it is for me, who almost never bench presses now, but used to back in the day. And the reason for this is because a lot of these barbell movements, the bench press, the squat, and the deadlift, they do require strength, but they are so technique dominant that once you really get that technique, you see how efficient you become in that movement.
Okay, Patrick, it's all in the technique.
So for example, on the bench press, a lot of people don't know how to move the bar in the proper bar path, and a lot of people don't know how to utilize leg drive, how to engage your core properly for it, and so many other factors. But since I've done so many sets throughout my years of working out, that muscle memory still stays with me to this day. So as long as I'm still strengthening my pecs, still strengthening my shoulders, still strengthening my triceps, and still training for strength-specific training through weighted dips, my bench press is naturally going to go up. So what does that mean for all of you? Does that mean you should just completely give up bench press and never do it again, and magically your numbers are just going to go up? In my opinion, I would say yes, you probably should not bench press, but that doesn't guarantee that your numbers aren't going to go up. Bench press is a great exercise to just simply build overall pushing strength, but it's far from the best exercise. There's so many better alternatives. Weighted dips, weighted push-ups, even bodyweight dips or bodyweight push-ups, dumbbell press, and hex bar bench press. These are such better alternatives than a traditional barbell bench press. And the reason is the barbell bench press is very limiting and very restrictive. Your range of motion is limited, and also your joint movement is limited. That bar is so straight, and once you're grabbing it, your hands are pretty much in place, and there's very little freedom in your range of motion. This is very different than the freedom and range of motion that you could find on dumbbell press, push-ups, or dips. You have a lot more flexibility with your range of motion. They're going to allow you to get a deeper stretch on all those exercises. You could even get a stronger contraction on all those exercises. And you're going to work mobility, stability, and your joints a lot more through these exercises as opposed to a barbell bench press. So for those reasons, I personally am not a fan of the bench press. I'm obviously biased towards calisthenics. I think calisthenics is king, and it's the most effective way to build strength, to build endurance, and to be fit overall. But there's other alternatives if you do like the weights, like I mentioned, the hex bar bench press or the dumbbell bench press. But based from my experience, whichever you're choosing, really make sure you're also adding your calisthenics, your weighted dips, and your weighted push-ups to the routine, because the carryover is tremendous and you're going to be grateful and happy you added it a couple years down the road. So if you liked the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, implement a couple things I mentioned in this video, and let's all try to get those gains together, and I'll catch you all next time.